everyone, and happy holidays. I want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. And we're so glad that you've taken the time to join us. And I want to welcome my panel that's with me today. I have Susan Jarboe, Karen Downy, and Reverend Linda. And I'm Kathy Cronin, and I will be leading our topic on this Christmas season. So let's take a moment just to shake off the stress of the holidays and just have time. You've taken the time to come and join us. So let's take that time to be in the presence of the spirit of Christmas and in the loving presence of God. So if it helps to close your eyes, to close out the distractions around you and plant your feet firmly on the ground and open your hands up to the skies and then just breathe. Feel that relaxation in your breath as you breathe a deep breath in, hold that breath, and then release any stress, any tension, any distraction. Just let that go for now and allow yourself to be present. That is the best gift that you can ever give yourself, is to be present in this moment. And dear God, we thank you for this blessed season, for the gift of Christmas and the birth, loving, hopeful, peaceful time of this season of joy, of life, of belief, of hope. We are so grateful and thankful that you have blessed us with Jesus, our Savior, and that he, in his presence, will teach us your way and your truth. We are thankful for these many blessings. And as we go about enjoying these holiday season, we thank you for all that you give us each and every day. Amen. So today, the topic I want to do, it comes from the A Christmas of Light and Peace, and it's the Unity Advent Booklet. And I'm taking my article from the Christmas Eve reading, and it was written by Reverend Juan del Hierro, and it's called 4 Candles to Light Your World. And I'm going to read what he wrote. It's amazing that we have made a celebration out of the eve of a special occasion. Think about it. While we celebrate birthdays, we do not usually celebrate birthday eves. We do not celebrate graduation eve, right? So while we celebrate the birth of Jesus on Christmas Day, what is it we celebrate on Christmas Eve? This Christmas Eve, let's reflect on the nativity story and what it took for Jesus to be born. The journey from Mary and Joseph to the moment where Jesus came into this world was difficult and filled with struggles. In the stories we tell in our Christmas pageants, we depict Mary and Joseph being turned away from many inns only to find themselves in a stable. There was chaos and struggle. In the midst of it, Jesus the Christ was born. Christmas Eve, then, is an affirmation of our hope, trust, and faith that a new day will dawn even in the midst of our own chaos. Celebrating Christmas Eve reminds us that in the midst of struggle, we can know something new is being born and celebrate being on the cusp of it. Can we have that same trust, hope, and faith in our lives? Even as we affirm light and peace, we may be discouraged when we look around us at wars, conflict, and social injustice. Today is the perfect time to reframe how we see these experiences. Even if we cannot fully understand that the light and peace of God are already with us, we can move from discouragement to faith. We often wait to celebrate something until its completion, whether it is the birth of a child or landing the job of our dreams. We do not have to wait. we can celebrate the new consciousness and experiences being birthed right there, right here, and right now. We can activate hope, trust, and faith that our awareness of deep peace and light is at hand. Take time today on this Christmas Eve to reflect on the vision that is yet to be reality in your life and celebrate and affirm that you are at the threshold, the cusp, the eve of your good. Light 4 candles this Christmas Eve. The first represents the Christ presence within you and all humanity. The second honors the journeys you have taken. The third casts light on your journey now. And the fourth, asking and receiving guidance on what is yours to do in response to the challenges you face. Light the 4th candle to affirm this is your eve, the moment before a magnificent manifestation. Notice how each of the candles brings more light into the world. You too gleam and glow as you live from the Christ born in you. And from Psalms 27:14, wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. So as we celebrate this Christmas season, and if you're listening to this at Christmas Eve, remind yourself to light 4 candles. And any other time in your life when you're going through transition, just remember the 4 candles and the lighting of these candles and what they stand for. And I'll repeat what they the second is the journeys we've taken. The third is the journey you're on now. And the fourth is that the challenges you're facing is that you are manifesting your magnificence. So I want to share these thoughts and these wisdoms. I want to think about the fact that how we celebrate Christmas Eve, it's all about the journey to Christmas Day. And as I read this, I also thought he said, we don't do the eve of a birthday, or we don't do, the eve of a graduation. But he missed one thing: weddings. When that major transition is going to happen in a couple's life, usually the day before, there's the rehearsal and the rehearsal dinner and that coming together on the eve of that day that they will transition into a new life. And so think about times in your life when you may be doing a transition, and take that time to have that eve of that moment of change in your life where you are moving from what is in the present to a new life and a new thing, the journey you're going to be taking or have taken to get to that transition. So we are so grateful to be able to share these tapings with you and share our thoughts. We're so thankful that you come and you join us with this, that you take this journey, this path along with us. And we hope that in this process, we help to enlighten your life a little, and that we can bring some joy and hope and peace into your holidays, into your Christmas, and that on the eve of the birth of Jesus Christ, that you are facing the eve of the birth of your transition into your Christ self. So I'm going to open this to the others and have their thoughts that they want to share on lighting the 4 candles on the eve.
Okay, I will share. As you're talking, I'm reflecting on how much Christmas Eve has changed for me. When I was very young, we would watch all the traditional cartoons, and that for us was Frosty the Snowman and Rudolph the Reindeer and the Little Drummer Boy. And Christmas Eve was all about what we would get in the morning, and our presents would be here. But it was more than that. It was an affirmation that we mattered to someone, that we were important, that we were good enough. Because if you weren't good, you got coal. So if you didn't get coal, hello, obviously you are good enough. And, with the childish brain and childish experience, that was very much what it was about for me. Because it's Christmas Eve, I'll tell you another quick story before I finish my share. The first time I walked into a Starbucks coffee shop, I realized I associated the smell of coffee with Christmas. And that's because we were not allowed to get out of our beds on Christmas morning until we smelled the coffee. No one was allowed to leave their room. So we would sit there sniffing and waiting till we smelled coffee. Isn't that a funny association? I still love coffee. Um, as far as Christmas Eve now, there's a little sadness for me in Christmas Eve. I love the candlelight ceremony at Unity. It's so beautiful. And when we light the candles and sing together, I'm just overwhelmed by the oneness, the connection, the beauty, the promise of, the best is yet to come. But when I walk out of that church and get in the car, I'm a little sad. I wait all year long for Christmas. And when I get up in the morning, that's it. It'll be over. Things go back to normal. People start taking down the decorations, and the feeling of God and love that I perceive everywhere present in the Christmas season starts to fade. So starting Christmas Day, I start waiting for Christmas again, not just Christmas, but the whole season. And the promise that the best is yet to come. The seeds we plant today create a better tomorrow. Merry Christmas.
I feel like just saying amen. um, One of the things that happened recently for us is Dia de los Muertos, and that is there are eves associated with that whole festival. But that's the only other one I thought about. Um, I love candles and will look for any reason to light them. And I have never thought about the number two, journeys. I mean, I've never thought about deliberately thinking about all the journeys I've taken. And that I mean, I might take an hour to do all of that. Um, I also like the line, who you are now, where you are now. The third step was something like that. And I'm reading a book called Stop Fixing Yourself. And the idea, it's a very good book by Anthony DeMello. And his idea is that, we have a whole lot of self-help and things like that, and we work on ourselves and we try to do this or develop that new habit. And, he says, well, that's all very good, but you have to accept and love yourself where you are right this moment. And in this moment, don't try to fix yourself. So I appreciated that step of this process, the third candle lighting. Beyond that, I too can say that I love our Christmas Eve service. It's a candle lighting service, and it's wonderful to share with people what you, to share with people that whole event, that whole evening, and looking forward to Christmas. So thank you very much for offering a new Christmas tradition a new Eve tradition. And you all have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you for your shares. And you've inspired me, Kathy, with your reading, the candles. I used to have a little altar, and there were 4 candles. And it was one of the times when I lived in California. And I came across that picture today of this little altar I had and the candles. And it's like, I need to do that again. So that is going to be something that I do this Christmas Eve, because I'm usually, well, I'm home alone, usually watching a movie or something. But this year, I think what I'm going to do, and the piece about the journey stood out to me, because so many years have transpired from childhood to married life to single life. And so I think I'll call my ex, and we do communicate. I mean, it's like we shared 30 years. So things changed a lot once he sobered up. But I think I'll call him and we'll just refresh some memories of those years and what was going on in just around Christmas. And I know going to midnight mass or different things like that, which that really isn't a piece of my life now. Um, and also what came to mind is, oh my God, back in 1969, going to Bethlehem to see where Jesus was born. And I mean, it was nothing like what I thought it would have been. Because history is built upon where these events happened and where Jesus was born. Looking into that area, I remember it so clearly. Wasn't anything like what I had expected, which kind of is like nothing is like I really expected. And here it is, 79 years later, and it's like nothing is ever really like what I thought it was going to be, which leaves me open in that journey forward and not expecting. And on Christmas Day, appreciating the people and the kids that I'm with. And it's more about the connecting, not the big, not the presents, not any of that. Because we're older, we don't exchange gifts. There's gifts for the kids, but I can appreciate the years. I mean, my kids are in their 60s now. It's like some have gray hair. I can appreciate seeing what the seeds they've planted of children and then great grandkids. So I have kind of a whole different perspective on Christmas the older I get, which comes more from, it's like not presence, it's presence. And not expectations or a lot of planning and things. So thank you for the thought about the candles. And I hope everybody watching us can take time to light some candles and celebrate what's inside the self, that Christ within, and the newness of coming in the new year, the new journey, the new light, the new gift, the new presence, being present. So, Merry Christmas to everybody. Be the light that you want to see in the world.
Well, thank you, Karen and Susan and Reverend Linda. Anybody else have anything else they want to share with these thoughts? Well, one thing I recall as we were all talking about it is I remember a tradition about the candles in the window on Christmas Eve was the way to signify that your home is open to the Christ spirit, that you welcome in the Jesus Christ, and that putting the candles in the windows was to allow people to know. And in some cultures, it was a tradition that on Christmas Eve, you would go visit your neighbors. You would, they put the candles out and you went and, welcomed, you took the journey to their house to be with them and back along the way. So the presence of that light that shone to say, this house welcomes in the Christ spirit. This house is open to, to all who come to our doors. And I think that's the other aspect of reminding of being that light, lighting yourself to be that light, to bring it in on this Christmas Eve, and to share that presence of yourself, that feeling that you have been about to be birthed into that Christ self. And just remember that this tradition of the 4 candles can be at any point in time in your life when you are about to manifest something new in your life, or you're looking to manifest something new, that you can honor the journey that's gotten you to where you are today and recognize the journey you are going to take tomorrow to manifest that spirit and be that light in the world. So a Merry Christmas, everyone. And we're so grateful that you've joined us and that this panel was able to come together for this holiday season, and that we wish you all the best, all the joy and the peace and the comfort. And we hope that you will join us again. And if you liked our talk, please, leave your comments or like it, subscribe. And after this taping, there's a little segment about the church. If you want to know more about Unity Church that sponsors this program, or how to get in touch with us, just, they give you all that information, and we really look forward to joining together again. So Merry Christmas.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.